Today we're going to do a little unboxing. You should recognize these little white boxes. I'm not going to show the front of it because it has personal information on there. And this will be the unboxing knife for today. This is a Jack Wolf After Hours Jack, if that gives you any idea of what might possibly be in one of these boxes. Alright, let's cut this open. And see what we have inside. Try and do this off of camera. Okay, first we have a box from Rosecraft. Second is a Jack Wolf. Let's take a look at the Rosecraft first. Rosecraft. Oh, what is that? What does that say? Sequatchie. Something like Rosecraft Sequatchie River Muskrat. Give you a look at that. See if that comes in focus. Now, I only have one muskrat knife in my collection, and that's a Rough Rider Carnivore. So it does have two identical blades, but the difference is one of them is a plain blade and the other one is a serrated blade. And that's why it's called the Carnivore, because you have your one plain blade and the other one is for cutting up your steak. So this will be the first actual real muskrat that I have with two identical blades. At least I'm pretty sure these are identical blades. We'll find out. We'll take a look at the fit and finish. Nice, no gaps. If you look, the springs are terminated nice and square. There's no issues. Let's take a look at the blade centering before I open it. See if you can tell. You can see right there that top blade is perfectly centered and that bottom blade is perfectly centered. Very nice. Ooh, nice strong pull and half stop. Let's see if the other blades is good. Yeah, it is. Really nice. Oh, that's beautiful. That is really beautiful. Let's open both blades up. They do look like identical blades. Very nice. Oh, nice snap on that. Really nice. The shield is in there very smooth. What I can tell by feeling it, I can tell the shield is there more by the change in texture from the covers to the smoothness where the steel is. And it almost feels like the edges are flush, but in the center the shield is a little bit rounded, so I can feel a bump there. Even though it's not the edges, not where the micarta and the metal join, but in the middle of the shield where that steel is left a little bit proud. Let me do my fingernail across here. My fingernail's not catching on either side. That's pretty, right there, just a hair, right here. And I could see, you might see just a tiny bit of a line right there. Just the smallest of a catch, and that's being really nitpicky. Let's check the half stop position. We'll open both blades for that. Okay, this spring is almost flush, but it sticks out just a tiny bit. You can see it right there. And this other one, on this side, it's recessed by about that same amount, just a tiny bit. So it's very close, not quite perfect. I wouldn't expect perfection on that until you get up in the Jack Wolf level. But that's so close. That's so much better than other companies do. But when all the way open, they're perfect. So what a well-built knife. I'll tell you what, every single one of these Rosecraft Traditionals I've gotten, I've been so impressed with. These things are phenomenal. I mean, they do okay on their moderns. I mean, they're built good, but Their moderns to me are more of a low-end type market, where these knives compete with anything that's out there. As far as fit and finish, I now have 2 GECs, and this is right there with them. This is every bit as good. You're not losing anything. It's not to the same level of fit and finish as a Jack Wolf knife, and of course it doesn't have the materials. It's behind in the materials, but you get really good materials. You get D2 blade steel that's heat treated beautifully. These knives hold an edge. You feel like you're using a high-end steel rather than a budget steel. So they do a phenomenal job on the heat treat with these. And like I said, the fit and finish is just absolutely unmatched for the price. It's just amazing. This was like $58. So I think you'd be hard pressed to get a case Muskrat for the same price. And this is far better. It's a far better knife and far better fit and finish than what Case or Rough Rider can do. So great knife. I'm really happy with this one, and the decision to go ahead and get this one. I love multi-bladed traditional knives. My favorite one still, it's in my pocket right now, in this leather slip, is the Rosecraft Briar Patch. Just an incredible knife. You get a beautiful clip point with belly, nice, big, tall, heavy-duty blade, comes down nice and thin behind the edge. It's a really good slicer. Then you have, I'm going to call this a lamb's foot. So you have both. You have everyday cutting tasks, plus all your utility and everything. This knife can do anything you want. I could carry this as my only knife and be perfectly happy. I still carry a modern every day, because there are times I just need one-handed access to a knife. And that's what a modern will give me, that this will not. But this, like I said, could easily be the only thing I carry, and I wouldn't be lacking in edge retention or in quality. This will do everything you need. So let's move on to the second knife. As you can see here, it says the Benny. So this is the new release by Jack Wolf, and they had made a pattern that was very similar to this before, but this one is going to be a bolster lock versus a regular slip joint. Right now, including this, I'll have 3 Jack Wolf knives total, and that's all I really want. I may in the future get one more, because now I'll have 2 bolster lock knives. But when you get it with the carbon fiber, then it's more of a bolster lock, because the frame lock here is covered up. I may eventually get one more and bring that total up to 4 Jack Wolf knives if I find a true slip joint that they come out with that I really like. I have bought and sold a couple of them. I had a gunstock pattern, which I didn't like, because that gunstock pattern locks your fingers in a certain position. That wasn't really comfortable to me. I like to be able to hold the knife in multiple different positions and multiple different grips without the knife trying to tell me how it should be held. So let's get into this one. As normal, we have the can with the artwork, which is pretty cool. I'll give you a look around it. We open it up, and we'll see the POG. Yep, you can see the POG. And then there's the other side. We have our cloth that contains our knife. We have a couple of stickers. There's 2 of these. And then all the way in the bottom there, which I'm going to leave this in the can, is a little piece that you can fill in where the pocket clip is if you decide to remove it. All right, let's get this knife open. There we go. Isn't that gorgeous? That carbon fiber. Probably doesn't come out on the video like I see it. Let's see how she opens. Beautifully. Let me give you a look at the centering. That is pretty good. It may not be 100% perfect, but it's really dead on. I'll see after I open and close it a bunch of times. We'll see where it ends up. Front flipping is really nice. Let's try a Spidey flick. Oh, missed that one. There we go. Oh, missed that again. Let me see. I wonder if my finger is hitting the lock at all. That's one thing you have to be careful of. With any of these, if your finger's on the lock, it's not going to open. All right, so I got to practice the Spidey flick on this knife a little bit, but it does work, and it works pretty good. But every knife has a little bit of a learning curve. This is my first experience with this one, but the front flipper, I think, is the best deployment method, or my favorite. I don't know if you can do some other methods with this knife. There, you can pull it over the top. Let me try the Spidey flick again. There we go. So pretty sweet. Now, one thing you'll notice, this has a little bit thicker blade stock. Let me get the other Jack Wolf out. Hold on a second. All right. Nope. Okay, so the blade stock is about the same. If you look towards the base of the blade, the thickness is not that much different. But as you get up to the tip, you can see a difference in how thick it is. Try and get this in a way that you can see. Maybe that'll work. Look right next to the tip. I know it's not quite in focus. Let me see if I can get this a little bit better, get it to focus a little better. Look right in here, and then right down here. See the difference there? This knife is going to be a lot more robust. It's definitely going to be stronger. You're going to be able to do some work with that tip. But let's see how it is. Okay, it's not that thick behind the edge. It's about what I would expect on a normal knife. Now this knife is definitely thinner behind the edge. This is really nice behind the edge. So this is a little bit more robust. This is more of a work knife. This is more comparable to a standard modern day folder as far as the edge geometry. I'm sure it'll still be plenty slicey. It will not be as slicey as this after hours Jack or most of the other Jack Wolf offerings. I think this is the thickest one to date. So this is going to be a knife you can carry instead of a modern, and that's probably what I'll do. I'll carry this for the next few weeks as my modern knife. And then I don't know, I just can't get this knife out of my pocket. I'm going to say I would like to carry it with the Muskrat, but I don't think I can, because this clip point has a belly almost like a sod buster. You'd have to put the knife straight up and down to be able to do utility cuts. Where with the briar patch, I have this lamb's foot blade, and I need almost no angle, and I can do utility cuts. When you're holding the knife at a very low angle like this, you have a lot more control over the cut. When you have it straight up, it's wiggles all over the place. You don't have the control and the precision and the safety. That's the issue more than anything else. It's the safety. So you want a blade like this, a lamb's foot, sheep's foot, a Wharncliffe, anything like that is great for your utility type work. Could be not just opening boxes and stuff like that. Stripping wire. I also do electrical work. I'll be working with, not just as an IT guy, not just Ethernet cable, but I do a lot of handyman type work in houses too. So I'm always stripping 12 gauge wire and doing electrical work, all kinds of things, carpentry work. I do a lot of different things, and this blade shape is very important to me. I need to have something like this on me. So if I was going to carry the Muskrat as my traditional, this has two clip point blades. I would want to carry something like this after hours Jack, or some elder modern knife that has a Wharncliffe lamb's foot, sheep's foot type blade on it, so that I have that functionality. I like my knives to be complementary to each other, to have different blade styles so that they work together, so that I can choose the right blade profile for the task at hand. And then I always have that one hand opening and closing knife for different tasks I have to perform. For example, if I'm up on a ladder, I want to hold on to the ladder with one hand. I want to be able to pull my knife, deploy it, make the cut, put it back away one-handed. So, even though I'd like to carry this knife is going to have to wait, and I'll have to review this at a later date. So, I'll carry the Jack Wolf and continue carrying my briar patch because of that lamb's foot blade. So I'll let you know how this goes in a couple weeks, how this knife performs, how it slices, whether I'm happy with it or not. One thing that I can tell right off the hand, same thing as with this knife. I don't know if you can see here in the video, but the distance here between the cover and the pocket clip is small. Now, if you take most other modern knives, that distance in there is greater. And with that greater distance, it goes over the lip of my pocket. I wear 511 Tac-Lite Pros, and in the bottom corner, they have a reinforced pocket lip. This knife only goes in my pocket up to about here. It won't push in all the way to the top because that pocket clip right in this area here is too thin. There's not enough clearance to go over that lip. So that is one problem I do see with these Jack Wolf knives. I wish we could put a spacer underneath here and raise the pocket clip up some. That would make it better for me. Pockets that don't have any kind of a lip on it, this will be fine. This will be perfect for dress pants, or, you know, some jeans. Some jeans have a folded over and stitched along the edge, and they might even be a little too thick for this. So I'll let you know in about a week or two how this knife works. First impression is pretty good. Same thing on this Rosecraft. For 58 bucks. Man, this is hard to beat. This is a steal compared to other knives. We'll see you on the next one.